How's it going, guys? Hit the like button, subscribe, and write the best transfer ever pulled off in the comments below. It will be interesting to find out your thoughts on the topic. And while you're writing, we proceed to start. Let's get the show on the pitch. Arsenal intend to sign Manuel Locatelli from Juventus, according to Calciomercato. Stuttgart have confirmed the signing of defender Dan Axel Zagadou. His contract is valid until the summer of 2026. Bayern are considering the candidacy of either Thomas Tuchel or Edin Terzic to replace Nagelsmann, Bild reports. RB Leipzig have hired Max Eberl from Borussia Mönchengladbach to hold the sporting director position. Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle and Sevilla have joined the race for Shakhtar Donetsk winger Mykhailo Mudryk. Valencia goalkeeper Georgi Mamardashvili has penned a new contract with the Bats until 2027. I spoke with Tuchel and I also felt that he wanted me to come, but I simply prefer Xavi's speech. Jules Koundé explained his choice. Liverpool will try again to sign Federico Valverde in 2023, according to Football 365. Juventus failed to win in 4 away matches of the season for the first time since 1997. Inter Milan are not gonna sack the head coach of the club, Simone Inzaghi, despite the bad start of the season. Belgium presented a new set of kits which the team will wear at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar. Atletico are gonna launch an appeal for the second yellow card for defender Mario Hermoso, who got sent off during the Madrid derby. Olympiacos have announced the sacking of head coach Carlos Corberán just a month and a half after his appointment. Following the sacking of Corberán, Olympiacos are thinking of an option with Laurent Blanc becoming the club's new manager. Flamengo midfielder João Gomes has given his view on Liverpool's interest. Liverpool are a team I'd play for. I have the greatest desire to play. Playing in the Champions League is my biggest dream in football, the Brazilian stated. Youth team manager Paulo Montero may become the new head coach of Juventus. The sacking of Massimiliano Allegri from the position of Juventus coach may cost the White and Blacks 36 million euros. Lorient have taken 19 points in the first 8 games under Régis Lebris, the best total among French managers in the 21st century. Robert Lewandowski scored 11 goals in the first 8 matches for Barcelona, setting the best result in the history of the club. Inter, Juventus, Roma and AC Milan lost their matches on the same day for the first time since February 13, 1955. Federico Valverde has netted 4 goals in 9 appearances this season, more than in any other season of his career. The police took Paul Pogba under protection following threats and blackmail attempts from his brother Matthias's organized gang. Barcelona's income budget this season is forecasted to be 1.255 billion euros, with 274 million euros of net profit. Marco Verratti will miss Italy Nations League matches due to a muscle injury, as the midfielder was previously diagnosed with a contusion and a deep hematoma on the left calf muscle. 34 red cards in 8 rounds of Liga 1. At the moment, this is the largest result among the top 5 European championships. La Liga is in second place with 20 red cards, while the Premier League has only 3 cards. 12 players and staff members of Man United were suffering from food poisoning after the match against Sheriff in the Europa League. The club is trying to find out what causes the matter: food in Chinese or what the footballers ate in the plane. The Russian Football Union accuses the head coach of the Ukrainian national team, Alexander Petrakov, of discriminating against Russians and refusing to maintain a neutral political stance for his calls to exclude Russians from international competitions, as well as for statements about his desire to join the armed forces. Atletico Madrid may face fine for the fans saying, "Vinicius, you are a monkey," and die, reports Marca. The heads of the most influential clubs in Europe support the idea of holding Champions League fixtures outside the continent. Club managers are willing to host matches in major marketing markets such as the US, China, or the Middle East. An LGBT fan called on Qatar to abolish the death penalty for homosexuality, the Washington Post writes. Manchester United are planning to bolster their roster in January. The Red Devils hope to buy a top centre forward and a right back. Chelsea are heavily linked with Christoph Freund, RB Salzburg sporting director. Todd Boehly is close to appointing him to a similar role with the Blues. Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City and Man United reportedly want Ethan Nwaneri, the first 15-year-old to play in the Premier League. Kanté returns to training. The Frenchman could return to availability after the international break. Chelsea face Crystal Palace on October 1st next. ESPN reports that Manchester United are hopeful that Marcus Rashford will recover in time to face Manchester City on October 2nd in the first game after the international break. And now we are moving on to the main news of the release. Gerard Piqué's relationship with Barcelona manager Xavi has hit rock bottom after the former midfielder overheard the defender complaining about his playing time. According to Sport, the defender was heard complaining about the lack of game time by his manager when Barca lost to Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Having overheard the conversation, Xavi is said to have replied along the lines of, "And you're gonna play even less now." Not exactly a ringing endorsement of a healthy relationship. Paul Pogba testified in case of blackmail by his brother. Earlier on, the French national team representative stated of being a victim of extortion and threats from an organized gang. We are to remind you that the footballer's brother, Matthias Pogba, who is part of this criminal group, was reportedly blackmailing Paul for about 13 million euros. Matthias was taken into custody and charged with extortion as a member of an organized gang and criminal conspiracy. 4 other suspects, aged between 27 and 36, were also charged, with all of them taken into custody pending trial. The police took Paul under protection due to threats. At some point, Paul wanted to pay the criminals the entire sum, though the bank rejected this operation due to its suspicious nature. After further pressure in the spring, the player agreed to hand over 100,000 euros in cash to Boubacar S. from Manchester. Jorginho offered himself to Barcelona a few days ago, reports Marcus Luis Rojo. The Catalans have decided against signing the Chelsea midfielder. His current deal with the Blues expires in July 2023, so he would be available for free next year. The club doesn't see the 30-year-old as Sergio Busquets' successor, although he's also a deep-lying playmaker whose style of play is quite similar. Jorginho had a brilliant 2021-22 campaign and finished third in last year's Ballon d'Or vote. Barcelona are monitoring Marco Asensio's transfer situation, according to Mundo Deportivo's Xavier Munoz. The winger's current deal with Real Madrid runs until July 2023, so Barca could get him for free next summer. The Whites might even decide to sell him in January instead of letting him go for free. This rumor may sound ridiculous, yet it's coming from a quality source. Besides, Barca were reportedly interested in Asensio a few years ago as well. His Real Madrid future is not guaranteed. PSG striker Neymar makes a difference on the pitch every 41 minutes. Opta reports, this is the best result in the top 5 leagues. Next goes Robert Lewandowski, who changed Bayern to Barcelona. The Pole has a great debut in Primera, prolonging his goal-scoring streak every 45 minutes. The third on the list is Erling Haaland, who also changed the league and exceeded all expectations. In general, the Norwegian marksman sets up a goal-contributing action every 48 minutes. Kylian Mbappe refused to participate in the photo session of the France team scheduled for Tuesday. The forward's conflict with the federation is related to disagreements regarding the use of the image of rights of national team's footballers. Information regarding Mbappe's claims to the FFF popped up back in March of this year. Since then, the parties have not been able to reach an agreement on this issue. Mbappe cannot stand the fact that his name can be used to advertise sponsors with whom he doesn't have contracts. Later on, it became known that the French Football Federation will reconsider the agreement over the image rights of the national team players. Robert Lewandowski thinks that his chances for the Ballon d'Or have increased in Barcelona. The Polish ace joined the Catalan side from Bayern this summer for 45 plus 5 million euros. Maybe Barcelona's players want it more often, but this trophy doesn't keep me awake at night. My approach is that from Barca there is a shorter way to the Ballon d'Or than from Bayern. Lewandowski noted. Folks, Alejandro Baldi has already managed to shock everyone this season. Our football club project will tell how Xavi created a new football monster from an 18-year-old boy. Have a good time watching. It was Football News. Have a nice one, and see you in a bit.